How you been? What you been up to?
Oh, not much. Just working, taking care of the gym,
Okay,
playing a
let's
little bit of
start.
golf.
Let's start there. Yes. Are you officially retired now, or are you? Because
Pretty-
every time you tell me you're officially retired, I see you on another card.
I am. There's a 95% chance I'm retired.
Well, let me start here
Yeah.
because every time you're officially retired, then you unretire.
Well,
what is it about boxing that you and so many people love so much?
Well,
From the fighter's aspect.
from the fighter's aspect, it's always about for me bettering yourself and proving to myself what I can still do or what I can do.
That's a broad answer.
It is.
Tell me, okay, let me try this on you.
Okay.
My brother, who is 4 years younger than me, and I've told people this, he loves golf.
How?
And they say, a lot of people love golf. I say he loves golf like it was a woman. Does that make sense to you as a boxer? Do you love boxing like it was
It does. It's a love-hate relationship.
Tell me.
It really is. There are times when I can't stand it. There are times when you can't stand going to the gym. You can't stand getting up and running. Can't stand the diet. Can't stand anything. But it always brings you back. For me, I would consider it more of a
What's the payoff? What's the spiff? What is it that makes all that worthwhile?
It's what I've done my whole life. It's kind of a definition part for you. It's for your brother. How he's won many championships in golf. It's kind of how he. It's what drives him. It's the same thing.
So it's kind of like me in this,
right? Absolutely.
It like if because I talk about retiring occasionally, and then I go, okay, but at some point, is that just like saying, well, I don't have a place to go anymore. Would I just be playing out the string? Does that make sense to you?
Right,
too?
it does. For me, I would have been happy with my career years ago and never coming back. Showtime decided to come to Shreveport, and that's a big opportunity. That's something that I've never or hadn't had prior to this. So yeah, absolutely. For me, it's father time. I've got a daughter. I want to be able to, enunciate my words when she's 18 and walk her down the aisle and everything of that nature. So it's just one of those things to where.
How many pro fights did you have? Or was it 16, 18, 20? More than that?
Oh, I've had 35 pro fights.
Really?
I had over 200 something amateur fights. So yeah, I've been doing this since I was 7 years old.
Do you get scared every time?
No, I'm not scared. I'm nervous. If you
Explain to me the difference.
Scared is worrisome. If you put, I'm scared is I'm worried something bad's going to happen. If you're worried something bad's going to happen, you don't need to step in the ring. You don't need to do what you're doing.
Did you ever have that? From the first time? I assume you started amateur boxing when you were a kid. 10, 12, 14 years old?
I was young. I won first boxing match at 8 years old.
Seriously?
Yes, sir. But no, I've never been afraid. I'm afraid of losing, but I'm not afraid. And that's probably a weakness. But no, I'm nervous when I go in there.
Yeah.
But I feel the nerves. But if you don't feel the nerves, then you're not on the edge. You're not going to perform well. So,
in other words, it's like, okay, well, I was out of radio for about 3 years, and I did stand up, and I ended up in New York doing stand up, and it terrified me every time.
Learn something new every day.
But the point is, you learn to make that nervousness and, or to use my term, fear. You learn to make it your friend.
You do. You turn it. Yeah.
You learn to put your arm around it and know that to try to extinguish or eliminate it is just going to cost you energy that you need to put into something else.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely did. And I can actually remember a match that I actually back when I was about 12 or 13. I had one where it was for the state junior Olympics to qualify to go to nationals to fight for the national team, and I fought a kid that I'd fought before, and he beat me, and I used that nervousness, and it's a great fuel. Just
so
like
you
you're
remember that, although you didn't really understand what you were doing.
Absolutely.
You looking back on it now as a grown man, you go, here's what I did instinctively to channel the uneasiness, the concern, the fear, the nervousness, and make it work for me.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I did, and it's one of those things. It's just a vivid memory I have. You know, all of us have them, but that's just one that stuck out for me.
When you're boxing, when the bell rings, in the 5 seconds, 10 seconds before the bell rings, do you know whether you're going to win or lose?
You always think you're going to win. You
Always.
Always.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
When the bell rings and you march to the middle of the ring, how far into a fight do you know you're going to win? Do you know you're going to lose? Or is it, I'm going to have to do my best?
You know, it really depends on the opponent.
Think back on all your fights. What's the quickest, if you want to mention the guy's name, it's okay. What's the soonest into a fight that you were able to size the guy? You said, unless I just trip, I'm going to win. As an adult, now,
Right.
not junior.
Let's see. I'm not going to say the gentleman's name. He and I are friends now. He's a good guy. There came a point in time where, and he's very well known, he came at me and threw a shot.
How far into the fight?
15 seconds.
Okay,
and
so you're
I'm
15 seconds in.
and I slipped and I caught him, and his head went up to the ceiling. He came back and his eyes were completely different. At that point, I knew he was mine.
That's a great answer, but it's not the one. It's not the one I thought you were going to give. In other words, you come to the center of the ring, you're moving around each other, you size each other up as fighters do. Can you immediately tell this guy's good, this guy's better than me?
Oh, absolutely, you can.
I'm in a world of trouble here.
But here's the deal. Just because, okay, let me equate it to golf. You and I both like to play golf. You ever play match play with your buddies?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. You ever have somebody play somebody that's better than you, but you don't necessarily always lose to them, right? I might be fighting somebody that's more skilled than I am.
See, that was going to be my next question. When you're in there 10 or 15 or 20 seconds, and you're thinking, this guy's better than I thought. I don't know if I can beat him or not, but experience, what is it that helps you figure out a way?
You know, experience. You set traps for him. You sit there and style. There's a saying in boxing:
Styles make fights.
Absolutely, styles make fights. And so, what I see and can do might be different than what he's been training with and seen his whole career. So, absolutely, one thing may lead to another. It's one of those things to where, going back to the golf analogy, you never know what kind of mistake they're going to make. They may have you down 6 holes with 7 to play and hook the next 3 tee shots out of bounds and put you right back in
In other
the
words,
match.
you look for your opening, you look for your shot, you look for your
Absolutely, you
chance.
never give up. Boxing is something that one shot can change.